Man, this chapter again was... you just felt the epicness. It was like, holy shit, never would have believed it if somebody said to me, you know what, Shanks is King's Haki, he can pierce people's assholes with that. And I'm like, yeah, now I believe it because his King's Haki is disgusting. And what is that all about with Pluton? The ancient weapon, it looks like it was Wano Kuni itself back in the day, so... Bum 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 bum. Welcome back everybody! One Piece chapter 1055 is out now and it is called the New Era or short New Era. And we start off the chapter where we left, or well, not exactly where we left because we continue with the fight with Green Bull and the Akazaya, or some of the Akazaya 9, Yamato and Momonosuke. And Green Bull is kinda wrecking their shit. Well, from the Akazaya 9, not the Yamato. Well, Momonosuke is trying to fight against him, but he's like, nah, you Kaido wannabe, don't you dare try that against me. This is not going to work. You're not that powerful. You are not Kaido, man. But then also we learned that Green Bull, Ryukugyu, is a prankster. Because Raizo is shooting his ninjutsu at him with fire and he was like, hey, you are nature itself. You are Logia, nature user, you're wood, you're Hashirama wannabe. You want to take my spot as Hokage from the Omniverse? Nah, forget it. And he tried fire. He was like, yeah, you're wood, I use fire jutsu, but Green Bull is a prankster. He takes that attack and he's like, shit, I'm burning. Nah, just kidding. He pierces through Raizo and then he sucks him dry. He sucks his nutrients out and it's like, oh my god. He did the exact same thing with the commanders, with the remaining Beast Pirate commanders. On one hand, Green Bull has a cool design and he looks like a cool admiral, but on the other hand, he's so cocky and arrogant. It's like he still believes he could have taken Luffy's head by himself, and it's like, no, shut up, man. You're definitely not that guy. You cannot take Monkey D. Luffy's head like that. You are not on his level, man. So we continue the chapter with Sukiyaki and with Robin-chan, because they are in the low part of the castle. And Sukiyaki is showing Robin and Law a secret room. But funny in this one was how Robin asked Law, did you see how I was missing in the group, or did you just follow my scent, or what the hell is going on? And Law basically said, yeah babe, I exactly did that because I searched for your ass. Robin and Law are the perfect couple. Both of them are interested in history, both of them are very intelligent. At the end of the day, if Law survives or Robin survives, they have to make babies. So this secret route, they're going downstairs and Sukiyaki even tells Robin and Law, I never told Kaido and Orochi about this. They never knew. So, but what's interesting about this is that Wano Kuni back in the day was 3-4 times larger than today's Wano Kuni we know. Because down there in the seas, there is the ancient Wano Kuni that was there 800 years ago. So get that in your head. 800 years ago in the Void's time around the Void Century with Joyboy and everybody and the Void government forming, there was also a bigger and larger version of Wano Kuni itself, which is now in the seas. But yeah, Sukiyaki did not tell Kaido, but Kaido had Jack in his crew and Jack found out about this one. But what I find interesting is, could Jack swim back in the day and did he not have his devil fruit? Because in that panel it looked like he is able to swim, but we know that he has a devil fruit as a fishman, so he cannot swim. Maybe back in the day he did not have his mammoth voice fruit. Maybe Eiichiro Oda was not joking when he said we're getting all the lore answered now step by step because he's giving it to us. So Sukiyaki is basically explaining that 800 years ago, around 800 years ago, somebody built walls around Wano Kuni. And that's also the reason why this ancient Wano Kuni was flooded and the people there had to build a new Wano Kuni, which is the version we know, the version from today. This is the Wano Kuni we know. But 800 years ago, the walls were the reason, and there was also Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji was then again used as a base for creating the new lands of Wano. But 800 years ago, it was flooded. The entirety of Wano Kuni was flooded because of the walls that were built. So the question now is, Wano Kuni was an ally to Joyboy, just the way Zunisha was an ally to Joyboy. Maybe because of the fact that Pluton is in Wano Kuni, and even Sukiyaki there says to Robin and Lloyd, you have to know this, he's telling them, Pluton is even deeper below. But it is here, but I never saw it. So, which means one of two things actually. Either the entirety of Wano Kuni, so meaning the ancient Wano Kuni, which was 800 years ago, which was then flooded by water because of the walls, and the entirety of it maybe is Pluton, because if you break down the walls, and that is the point that will now make everybody think, okay, when you break down the walls, open up the borders of Wano Kuni, then you activate the ancient weapon Pluton. Which could mean that maybe 800 years ago Joyboy did this on purpose. Maybe he was the one who built the walls around Wano Kuni and was like, guys, the world government is after us, these people are evil. Maybe it was even Emu back in the day, and Emu is immortal or some shit like that. But maybe them doing their stuff, and Joyboy was like, okay, Wano Kuni and the Kozuki clan and whoever was there back in the day, he was like, we need to build these walls because the entirety of Wano Kuni is built on top of the ship of Pluton. Maybe it is the same thing like Zunisha. The land of the Minks are on the back of Zunisha. Maybe the entirety of the ancient Wano Kuni was built on top of the ship of Pluton. This mass destruction ancient weapon. And if you destroy the walls, if you destroy them, then Pluton gets activated and maybe the entirety of Wano Kuni will rise and then the ship can fly or whatever. But the funny thing is, Momonosuke knows this because he read Oden's journal, and Oden knows the history around Wano Kuni and everything else because of Laugh Tale and what Joyboy did there and what the One Piece is. They saw everything, right? Either the One Piece is a second ancient weapon, Uranus or something else, but One Piece is connected to Wano Kuni and Pluton. So I think if the borders of Wano get opened up again, this has to be the exact same time Luffy finds the One Piece and activates One Piece or whatever One Piece is. Only then Momonosuke will then come out of the story and say, now we can open up the borders because Luffy has found One Piece and has activated One Piece or whatever. So maybe there's even the potential that the One Piece is the ancient weapon Uranus and the ancient weapon Pluton, and then there's Luffy and then Shirahoshi as the third ancient weapon Poseidon. So there's maybe this huge connection with all three ancient weapons. This could be the case now. This way Sukiyaki told and showed Law and Robin is below Mount Fuji, and there's also the third road poneglyph. We have now 3 road poneglyphs and one last is missing, and that one is to 99% most likely somewhere at Shanks' place, and Shanks is the gatekeeper to the last road poneglyph. This could be very well the case, so this would mean for Luffy, go beat Shanks. And that will not be easy. And then of course Robin is asking Sukiyaki, okay, but why then did Kozuki Oden say the borders of Wano Kuni need to be opened again if the mass destruction of weapon Pluton is right here? Why would you say that? Well, Robin, we will all get the answer soon, but Momonosuke knows it. Maybe you can go ask him, so we can skip some steps. But yeah, pretty crazy. Pluton is right there. You open the borders of Wano Kuni, you destroy the walls that were built 800 years ago, most likely by Joyboy for protection against the world government and Emu, because they could have gotten their hands on Pluton, and then they knew, okay, in the future the true king and the princess will come again and they will fulfill the prophecy and whatever. I was talking about Luffy and Shirahoshi. And funny is how Oden wanted to open the borders 20 years ago, but he couldn't do it because of Kaido and Orochi. Kaido killed him at the end of the day. Then his scabbards again couldn't do it, and Toki prophesied it that in 20 years people will come and destroy Kaido's and Orochi's terror, and they will open up the borders of Wano Kuni. Funny is how these 20 years were needed for the prophecy, for faith to fulfill everything, because Luffy needed to grow up, Shirahoshi needed to grow up, so everything comes together at the end of the day. So Kaido was basically a placeholder in Wano Kuni, and he was also the trigger for Luffy to become Joyboy and activate his awakening with his Nika model fruit. So it's like, yeah, everything is connected. All these dots are coming together. We will soon understand this picture more and more, and it is amazing how he's now bringing everything together. One Piece is going wild. More and more revelations, more and more lore revelations. So then we continue, we go back to the fight with Green Bull, Momonosuke, the Scabbards, Shinobu, Yamato and so on. And now we see Momo is trying his best against Green Bull, but the funny thing is Ryukugyu is telling them, hey, I only came to this land, I only came here because I got the information that Kaido is now gone. Otherwise I wouldn't have come here. So basically Eiichiro Oda again stating, guys, Admirals are fucking strong, sure, but Yonko, besides Buggy, Yonko are different. Yonko are still different monsters, and Admiral is stating this again. He would have never come to Wano Kuni because Kaido was there and he was scared shitless. So yeah, makes sense, right? Well, and Captain Buggy is the strongest of all of them, so... Yamato wants to help Momonosuke. Everybody got tangled around Ryokugyu's flower, wood hands or whatever he created there. He basically is Hashirama. He made an entire forest there. But yeah, Momonosuke is telling, no Yamato, you do not help me. If I insist on help, if I insist that you help me or Luffy or Zoro or whatever who, then I'm weak and I cannot protect Wano Kuni, because I want you to go out there with Luffy and co and be their nakama and have adventures and find the One Piece and be Adikero Tsugamo. So basically, again, Oda stating to all the naysayers, to everybody out there who said, nah, Yamato's not joining, guys, she is joining. She is the 10th Straw Hat crew member. She is that what Oden was for Roger and Whitebeard back in the day. So yeah, Yamato is in. It is done. Funny thing is, all the frustration and anger and rage and hatred against Green Bull because he's crushing the biggest party after 20 years of tyranny. What does he do? He shoots finally his very first Bolo Breatho. And it works against Ryukugyu because he is not a liquid Logia, he is a solid Logia and he feels that shit. And he's like, man, this hurt him. And Momonosuke was like, oh my god, this worked, and he shoots a few more at him and he completely burns him down. Funny thing is, like Groot, Ryukugyu creates a little flower, a little leaf, and he grows back from it. So yeah, he can multiple himself with his Logia Devil Fruit. But yeah, after taking in that shit, he's like, okay, let's get serious, kid. But then something happens. Then, in that very moment, the Admiral himself was ready to step it up a notch, to kick it up a gear. Some very disgusting Shanks Haki black lightning stripes come from afar, from the near seas of Wano Kuni, which are still very far away. But the lightning and the black Shanks Haki lightning still reaches and comes there. And who did that? Who did that? Well, there's only one guy near the seas that is waiting over there and chilling, and that is Akagami no Shanks.
Why do you come here?
Shanks' Shanks Haki is so strong from miles away that he paralyzes, that he completely stuns Ryukugyu. He's completely paralyzed. He's like, shit, what the hell is this? King's Haki, who's doing that? And then he realizes the red-haired pirates. And he's like, holy fuck no.
Welcome.
And everybody on Shanks' crew, his guys even tell him, boss, you knocked out our newbies, what the hell are you doing? But Shanks is standing there with his sword and he's like, hey, you, marine guy, admiral, whatever you are, I don't dislike you because you're doing your job, but bro, guy, son, this is not the time for that, because these young leaves, these young pirates did the impossible. They changed an era. A new era has begun because they defeated two of the old Yonko. And now you're coming in there into the lands of Wano Kuni and you want to take them out and take them in as prisoners, and in their still weakened state they still did not recover to 100%. And Shanks is like, nah, I'm not having that. You are not doing that. And he shoots out his King's Haki blast and the Ryukugyu. He's sweaty and he's like, shit, no, I don't want to not do this. Funny thing is how Shanks is monologuing there, and afterwards the Ryukugyu is telling, okay, I'm not fighting you guys, I'm leaving, I'm not ready for this, we cannot fight yet. And I'm like, is he saying that to the red-haired pirates because he's scared of them? Or did Shanks' King's Haki paralyzing advanced shit technique there scare Ryukugyu so much that he said it to Momonosuke and co. I think he said it to Momonosuke and co because he was scared and his asshole got pierced by Shanks' King's Haki. Get little flashbacks of the time when Luffy stabbed his cheek and Shanks was there and freaking out, or then with Momonosuke, and then the Hiyori and Toki when the Hiyori came, and it's like, okay, Shanks has these flashbacks and then he says it, hey, are you people that scared of the new era? And I'm like, yeah, it is time, the new era is here. And so this means the One Piece, we will find out very soon what One Piece is. But funny is, Ryukugyu, how Green Bull hauled ass afterward. It's like, yeah, hey, this King's Haki blast came in there, but this Ryukugyu guy, he's gone. He ran so fast, I think he forgot who he is. We see our guys sitting at the party at the Flower Capital, Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei, Luffy, they're sitting there and they're like, hey, looks like Momonosuke did it, right? Ha, he didn't need our help. They knew the entire time that an Admiral was there, but they were like, nah, just chill, we eat, we chill, Momonosuke can handle this. He has his father's genes, he has his father's body, and he has Kaido's devil fruit. He needs to be able to do this, and he did well. But then they're talking about the King's Haki also, and they're like, who the hell was this King's Haki user? This was disgusting. Who the hell did that? And Luffy, I think Luffy knows who that was, because he's telling them, he's pretending to not know, and he's like, I have an imagination who that could have been, but I think he knows exactly that this was Shanks' doing, and he's just smiling and happy, and he knows, yeah, this was my guy, this was Shanks. Shanks' King's Haki is disgusting. So Kaido's words back in the fight with Luffy are true now, because he said Roger did not have a devil fruit. He had Haki alone and he conquered the world. So at the end of the day, yeah, Haki is your main thing and should be your main thing. And if I had to say Kaido or Shanks, who has the stronger King's Haki, it seems like Shanks has the stronger King's Haki, because at the end of the day, Shanks only trained Haki his entire life, only trained Haki, whereas in Kaido had his devil fruit ability. He had to train his devil fruit and his Haki. So Shanks only basing himself purely on Haki, he most likely has the stronger one. And with him paralyzing Ryukugyu from this far away with King's Haki, it's like, fuck man, whoa. Now you gotta imagine what a prime Goldie Roger was back in the day, and a prime Roxy Sebek, what those monsters were back in the day, and with their King's Haki. Once Luffy meets with Shanks and they start fighting, Luffy will get in there for some surprises, and Shanks' King's Haki will overpower him for the most of the fight. I think Shanks will overpower Luffy's Haki with that, and Luffy will maybe take the dub with his awakening, and that will be the helping factor for him. But purely on King's Haki base, yeah, Shanks will show him some new dimensions, some new levels to it. Guys, that's the chapter. It was a fucking beastly chapter with Shanks, and we had more Shanks in this one. It's like, yeah, perfect. Count me in for more Shanks. Now it's your turn. Write down in the comments what you thought of the chapter. What do you think? Who has the biggest Haki gains in the world? Is it Shanks, Kaido? Which one of those guys has bigger Haki gains? What do you think about Pluton? Do you think the entirety of ancient Wano Kuni was built on top of the weapon Pluton, and Pluton is this gigantic mass destruction ship, this ancient weapon ship that will start off once the walls are break and is connected to the One Piece and is the One Piece Uranus? So write down your thoughts, your theories, whatever, go crazy with it. Gonna catch you guys next time, because more lore comes in. We are so ready for it, and also not ready for it. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Stings, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.